Welcome back, you beautiful fucks. It's me, Danny, with another talking video. Let's talk about Godzilla figures and also Pacific Rim stuff because we have some good things to talk about that happened this past week. And if anything else gets revealed in the next couple days, I'm sorry it's not getting added to the video. All right, there's a cutoff date. They didn't make it. Wonderfest was this past whatever day it was, and I was there in spirit. Thankfully, a lot of people went and they took pictures. So let me get that out of the way. All the pictures you're about to see from Wonderfest here today are not mine. So let's just dive into this and see what's up and what's coming and what's going to hurt our budget for the next couple months and years. First off the list, this is not even a figure. Let's just talk about this. A new trailer dropped today. 2 new trailers, actually, for the new Kong Survivor Instinct, also known as the King Kong game with no King Kong in it. To joke, people. Calm down. Don't stab. Don't stab me. But yeah, some trailers dropped, and I mentioned it before. I think like this game, it looks fun. I'm kind of into 2D stuff, and I'm gonna judge it for what it is. If it's not, it's definitely probably not gonna be a fighting game. I'm still hopeful. Maybe there's like a fighting element in it, like where maybe you mainly play as the human, but there's a few moments like boss fights where you get to play as Kong and it's like a 2D fighting game. I would like that. I'm still hopeful, but if not, I'm gonna base it my thoughts on it for what it is, and that's a 2D Survivor Instinct game. Yeah, that's just what I think is fair. So we'll see. And they also gave the release date October 22nd. So right there, right. It's taking the words out of my mouth. Help! It's right there, ready for spooky season. So go ahead and drop a digital code into your significant other's spooky basket, because I know they're probably asking for this, and I'm sure they'll be thankful for it. And I should mention the second trailer showed off Tiamat, which we already knew was going to be in the game from the poster, but we get to see some gameplay. And credit where credit's due, the game, it looks good in terms of graphics. It really does. So hopefully the gameplay will be this just as good as quality. All right, we're going into figures now. Let's just get into it. I forgot this mention. We're not just talking about Wonderfest. We're also talking about Bandai, because they revealed 4 new Movie Monster Series figures. And as recording this, I just realized that there's way more Bandai stuff I need to talk about that I forgot to add to this video. So I'm going to have to add it at some point. But let's just talk about these 2 figures first. This is Cybot Godzilla 1984 on the left, and Godzilla 1974 on the right. Now let's talk about 74 first. I already have this figure. It looks to be a reissue of the original mold. I could be wrong. Again, do not come at me with that sharp object. I don't know if it is. It might be. So it's great for people who don't have that figure because it's old. It's way overdue for a reissue. But if you're like me, I'm kind of on the fence if I get it. I might just get it because I do really love that suit. It's one of my favorites from my childhood. And I'd love to have a figure with the tag on. The figure I have does not have the tag. So we'll see. I will say this. It did make me kind of regret not picking up the 1975 figure when it was reissued, because I have it, the memorial box version. And if you know anything about the memorial box figures, they have like a green paint tint to them, which is not bad, but it made me look back. I was like, oh, I should have got the 75 figure just to have it in like its actual suit colors. So I'm on the hunt for that. I am kind of hopeful though that will get reissued. They, especially the Godzilla store in the US, they tend to reissue the store exclusive stuff quite often. Well, I won't say quite often, but it tends to pop up again. So I'm hopeful. And then you have the Cybot on the left. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is supposed to be based off the animatronic that was used for the 1984 movie Godzilla Returns, or Return of Godzilla. And what a great concept for a figure. I'm really happy, and it looks great. Definitely going to be a pickup. I think this comes out soon, and I don't have them pre-ordered yet, but I'm definitely planning to pick this guy up. Obviously, also, I don't know if I'm going to go through the Godzilla store on this, or am I going to pay a few extra bucks to go through like Showcase or Beasts of the East, because Godzilla store US, very thankful for it, but it is it's known to have some delays. when it comes to their pre-orders. Which, since these are just toys, it's not like a huge deal. You don't need these right away. It's not gonna, your life's not gonna be affected. But if I become impatient, which I'm known to be, I might ship up a couple extra bucks to get this sooner. We'll see, though. We'll see. Depends how I feel. Depends on the day, on the moon, whatever, my horoscope. The other two figures that were shown off from Bandai were another version of Bagon. Jesus, they're showing him love, okay? This is the most Bagon we got ever. And this is the in-game colors, as they say, apparently. And very cool. If you know me, my favorite color is red. And my favorite kaiju is King Caesar, which has nothing to do with Bagon. But he is a very cool kaiju in design and concept. And these colors look amazing on him. So I'm definitely going to try to pick this up just to have more Bagon. And my cat just did something in the background, so I got distracted. Sorry if the audio sounded weird. But yeah, definitely cool colors and definitely be a cool pickup to go with that Super Godzilla that also comes out next March, I think. Something like that. And then we got my boy on the right there. Flying Mechagodzilla 1974. Thank the Lord. Times are good. What a time to be alive. Look at that. A movie monster series figure of the OG Mechagodzilla in his flying form. I am pleased. I'm prepared to cut off limbs to get this figure. It's not that serious, but that's how dedicated I am to picking this up. These are store exclusive though, and I don't understand why they're making some of these figures like, oh my god, my cat's jumping on my chair again. I can never record these videos in peace, but Bandai seems to be really going in on these like Godzilla store exclusives, which I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it's because I have no answer. I think maybe it's just because they make more money that way. They don't have to sell to like other retailers or anything like that. It has to be, at the Godzilla store. That's where you get it. Unless you're like me, also you can get it from these other third-party websites, but you typically pay a little bit more. So I guess that's the way it is. So if you're slipping up right away. So if you're familiar with Bandai and their stores and their live streams and their lifestyle, then you know they like to do these polls, which are fun. Okay, they let people vote and they choose which figures that they make. And I completely forgot because they do these like towards like around this time every year, but these figures end up not coming out till like a year later. So I forgot about this, but they did like some kind of 5-pack, which is what it seems like. So either like these figures are gonna be sold together, or if it's gonna be like sold in these 5 figures are gonna be sold at the same time. However, whatever it may be, these are the 5 figures that you're looking at right here. They got voted by the people in Japan, I believe, only that they voted for. These are the kaiju that we are getting next year at some point. And yes, they will be Godzilla store exclusives, obviously. But this is a nice lineup. Let's go through it. We have King Ghidorah 1964, Kamacuras 1967, Gabra. I don't know why they added the year. How many Gabras are there? Got Anguirus 1972 and Mechagodzilla 1974. So that's an understatement. A great selection of figures right here that are going to come out. So let's start from my least anticipated, and it'll probably be Anguirus for now. With all due respect, you Anguirus lovers, okay? I already have a few Anguirus figures from the Showa era. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this one, how different it's going to look, or if it's going to be just the reissue of the original mold, maybe some new paint applications, which would still be cool, and it would be nice to have that figure on card. So we'll see what they do with that. Mechagodzilla will be the next one up. As much as I love that Mechagodzilla, I already have Mechagodzilla 1975. It's not all that different, but it'd still be pretty cool to have this one, especially with the flying form coming out. So have this one to go along with it, and hopefully it'll be a little bit different than just the 75. I'm hoping they don't just take the 75 mold and remove the MG2 insignia on his arm. I hope they do something a little bit different with the posing. So we'll see. All right, let's get into the good shit. Okay, let's start with King Ghidorah, because if you watched my previous video where I was rambling, well, maybe not the previous one, but one of these ones I did not too long ago, I mentioned how I was looking for that King Ghidorah legendary color version that they did for Bandai Premium. I was not able to get it. My last resort ended up running out of stock, so I was disappointed, but that's okay. You know, sometimes you miss out. But I did mention in that video I was hopeful that they were going to use that mold and turn it into a Bandai Movie Monster Series figure, and it appears that's what they're going to do, possibly. Or maybe just make a whole new mold for it. But either way, we are getting a new Showa era King Ghidorah. I am stoked for this. Finally, I love that design. I love the hair, the mane on each head, and it's just such a classic Ghidorah. And I'm so happy, even though it's going to be a store exclusive. I'm just so happy that it's getting made. Again, I'm just curious if it's going to be like sold as a box set, or is this going to be sold like individually? I'm going to get it either way, because it's going to be, I'm excited. I'm excited. And then moving on, we have Kamacuras. I mentioned this, but I know in my head, when I talk to myself when I'm going insane, I've been like holding off paying these the prices for the older Kamacuras figure from Bandai. I do have one that's from like Marmot, but even that one was expensive because there's barely any Kamacuras figures out there. There's some very old Bandai ones, and YMSF does it as well. He just put out a Final Wars version of Kamacuras, which I heard was pretty good. I did not pick it up though, but I've heard some people have, and they said some good things about it. But see, Movie Monster Series is coming out with a figure is just, I'm excited. I'm just very happy. Finally, it's the Showa era, obviously 1967. So I'm stoked to see how this looks, and to finally just have of official Kamacuras from the Showa era. It's gonna be great. And finally, Gabra. Now I have a Gabra figure from YMSF, and it's a solid figure, one of their best. I do recommend that figure if you can find it for a good price, or from YMSF directly, because they usually will kind of put out that figure every now and then. But to see Bandai is going to do it, I'm very curious to see how their figure's going to look, and I just cannot wait. This is going to be a great set right here. So, again, these are probably going to come out towards around like a year from now, around the same time. They'll be store exclusives, but I'm stoked. I'm very happy. Which leads us to this abominable smoke group right here. This rotation. Because we gotta vote again. Now, I'm joking when I say abominable, but let's dive into this. So this is the next poll that people are voting on now. And what's cool about this is they're including the US in it. So I've already voted by the time this video goes up. And you can go to the Godzilla store right now, put in your email, and they let you vote on which figure you want. However, this does appear to be a single figure will win. It's not going to be, excuse me. It's not going to be another box set from the sounds of it. It's going to be whichever figure. Like they'll probably narrow it down to like top 3 or top 5, whatever, and then vote again. And whichever one wins will get a figure. Although, to be honest, the way these polls go, it's not, like, the most popular figures still end up getting made, regardless if they win. I think this is mainly to see which one they make first, but then they'll look at the other ones that also got highly voted for, even if they weren't the most popular. As long as they get like a lot of attention, they still end up making figures. Like, they've already done that multiple times. So let's just keep that in mind. That's why some of these polls, they're just fun to vote for, but don't get too disheartened unless you're a Dorbat fan. We'll get into that in a second. Because they ain't making that figure, and they better not. Because if you vote for that, we're going to have some problem. It might get a little personal if you waste your perfectly good vote on a Dorbat. But yeah, if you look at this from left to right, we got the original Rodan, it appears. The original Mogira, which I've also been kind of hopeful for to get a Movie Monster Series figure. I've talked to a few friends in the comments about this, and I've been waiting for this. It's not the one I voted for though. Giant Condor. Finally, put some respect on the Condor, okay? He's giant for a reason, because he's a big star of the show era. Some might say he's the king of the air. Rodan might need to sit down, put those flaps down, because you're Rodan, but you're not giant Rodan. We got a giant Condor. It's not a regular Condor, it's giant. King Caesar, my boy. This is the flocked version, as they call it, because his ears are perked up. So that'd be pretty interesting. Because I guess some people were a little worried that this is the only way we're going to get a King Caesar figure. I think they're going to do a regular King Caesar eventually. But this is the flocked version, where he has his ears in the air because he's excited to get violent. Mechagodzilla with the broken head. That's a very cool concept, and I would love to see a figure of that. Dorbat, I hope this does not ever get made into a Movie Monster Series figure. I never want to have this figure see the light of day. I don't care how much you love this thing. Get this thing off the pole. I hope it's at the bottom. That's how much I hate it. I swear if this wins, I'm taking it straight to the government. Space Godzilla flying form. That's actually rock solid. I would love that. I understand why they might want to save that for a poll, just to see how popular it may be, but I kind of hope that comes down the line. Just like the flying Mechagodzilla, it's a very cool concept. There's Ghidorah. It's appeared multiple times now on these polls. I have a feeling eventually it will get made into a Movie Monster Series figure. I do have the original one, and it is big. It's a cool figure, but There's Ghidorah is just not that popular. It's from one of the Mothra Heisei movies that was also not that popular from my understanding. It's not. No disrespect to all the Mothra fans out there, but There's Ghidorah didn't really stand out all that much when I watched that movie. But it's still a very cool Ghidorah design. I'd love to see it get a figure. Eternal Mothra. Now again, that's also from obviously the Heisei Mothra trilogy. And it's a very beautiful design. I would love to see a figure of that. And then Orga, which is cool but kind of strange. I feel like Orga just deserves a wider release. Like, that's just my opinion. So it's kind of sad to see him end up on a pole. If anything, I would have expected like the early stages of Orga, like the squid-like form, to be on the pole, not the final version of Orga. But we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes one of the top 5. But yeah, if you're wondering which one I voted for, well, you know me, right? Who's my favorite kaiju? King Caesar. So you know who I voted for? Giant Condor. I ain't even joking. All right, love you, King Caesar. I do, but I have faith you're gonna get figured down the line, okay? And hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. But I have faith. Super 7 hopefully won't let me down either. So we got to show some respect. All right, get that bird a figure, please, people. Let's get that Giant Condor he needs a tag, okay? That tag staying on, okay? We're getting a display case for the Giant Condor. We're going all the way to the moon with it, okay? That's the winner right there. The patience I don't have. I gotta know who's gonna win. It better be Giant Condor. I swear to God, after the Dorbat, I'm gonna. Do not you fucking dare vote for that Dorbat. I swear to fucking God. Anyway, let's move on. Moving on, we have Wonderfest. Like I said, it happened recently, and we had some pictures coming out. We're gonna kind of go through these pretty quick. On the left there, we have Shimo. On my desk right now is Boba, my cat, and she's not supposed to be here. I keep misgendering him. Get down. There you go. Good boy. So yeah, Shimo, they have him up, or have her up, standing like that in a threatening pose. Probably scared the photographer. But that's not what's important. What's important, because we already know about Shimo. What we didn't know, but we did kind of know, because we knew they were going to do it, because of course they would. We now have official pictures of Haya's Beast Glove Kong, and it looks great. That is because it's also based off the Kong that they already showed off not too long ago, which already looked great. And from the pictures I've seen and from what I've heard other people are saying, this is pretty much the same exact figure, as in same accessories too, aside from like the Beast Glove hands. Like the face sculpts and the added faces that you can put on are all the same from the regular Kong that they revealed a couple weeks ago. So this is just the same mold, same figure, same accessories, but now with the Beast Glove added. And obviously some of the hands for the Beast Glove have the Beast Glove attachment on them as well. So still very cool. And I think this is going to be a point where some collectors are going to say, okay, I'll probably just pick up the Beast Glove version because they probably don't want another Kong. Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and pick up both because I really like this Kong figure, and I'm okay with having two, just one with the Beast Glove and one that's normal. So I'm happy with that, and I'm happy they finally revealed it. G14 was there as well, shown off with the female Mewtwo. My bad, male Mewtwo hopefully will be shown off soon at some point, but yeah, G14's there. Looks like him. Looks like the G-Man himself from 2014. Then we have this lineup of the Toho series, also known as the series that keeps getting added to without ever being released, because they just keep revealing new things and nothing's been actually released yet, as at the time of recording this video, which is it's kind of funny. I'm throwing a little shade, but obviously I'm excited for this line because it looks really good. Can't wait for the Godzilla 89. Is that the one that they're doing? No, it's not. They're not doing 89. My bad. They're doing the Godzilla from King Ghidorah. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm getting my years mixed up. But speaking of King Ghidorah, look how I don't know why when they revealed when they revealed their King Ghidorah, I thought it was like it looked small. Not in like a bad way, like it's still bigger than Godzilla, but like I was like, okay, it's a reasonable size. It's not going to be like as gigantic as the 2019 King Ghidorah figure. But looking at it, like look at it there, like that's huge. It's in scale. So props to them. Love that. You know me. But it is huge. That train just scared me. I live near a railroad track, so we get trains all the time, and I heard the horn and it scared me. Mechagodzilla looks a little too big, if you ask me. Maybe I'm wrong. That looks a little too big. I know he was bigger than Godzilla, but that's a little too big. Then my boy right up front, Godzilla 2000 Millennium. Yes. Front and center. Gotta love him. Can't wait. Got the other Heisei Godzillas on the left, and then you have GMK, and they're looking at his shoes on the right. And obviously, the big elephant in the room, or the big three-headed dragon in the room that everyone's talking about, is Mecha King Ghidorah, just being revealed right here in a very early stage. And this is awesome, because knowing Haya and just the way with their detail and their articulation, I'm excited for this. This is gonna be a solid figure right here. Be solid, and I'm just excited. That's all I gotta say about Mecha King Ghidorah. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see the promo images when they come around, and I can't wait to wait 3 years to get this in hand. Hopefully, it won't be that long. I don't think it will, but it'll probably still be a while. Next company who I want to see do a Mecha King Ghidorah would be Super 7, honestly. I want to see an Ultimate Mecha King Ghidorah. I want to see an Ultimate King Ghidorah in general from Super 7. But for now, Haya, they're delivering, sort of. We're getting there, okay? They just keep adding on to that Toho series. By the time they actually release their first Toho figure, there'll probably be 20 different figures that they've announced for the Toho line. And I'm just here for it. Also at Wonderfest, we got to talk about Pacific Rim. This, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the company, but it's a Chinese company, I believe, that is doing these Pacific Rim figures. And I love them for that, keeping the brand alive, because Pacific Rim really deserves some great stuff, just all around, not just merchandise, but movies and entertainment. And so let's just look at some pictures first. Here's Gypsy Danger, which is coming out soon. Look at this figure. It looks amazing. Okay, it looks amazing. Here he is again, or here she is. Sorry, let me get my genders right, because Gypsy Danger was referred to as she. And here she is with Crimson Typhoon And Crimson Typhoon's already out. I've seen reviews for that figure. That figure is amazing too. And look how vibrant they look. Look up the detail. And if you have not seen reviews for that Crimson Typhoon, go check them out. I have kind of avoided this line, and I'm kind of like, I need to pick up this Crimson Typhoon before it's too late. And I definitely need to probably consider getting this Gypsy Danger because this line looks amazing. Okay, but the only thing that kind of has pushed me away is the price point. Being honest, these are about like $100 or so per figure, sometimes more depending where you get them. So it is a pricey line, but these figures look awesome. Here's Gypsy Avenger, who has, I love that it comes with like the rocket or the missile jetpack from the movie. That'd be a cool accessory to have. But again, just the detail and the look of it, like, this figure looks amazing. And they're doing the Kaiju from Pacific Rim. And if you're like me, where I didn't really collect the Kaiju back when NECA was doing them, and I kind of sort of regret some of them, like Leatherback, here he is. But again, this line is pretty expensive, and I imagine the Kaiju are going to be even more expensive than the Jaegers, because look how big he is. It does look like he has some hands, but this looks awesome. I'm very curious what the price point is, but I'm definitely now considering getting into this line, and it hurts my wallet. Like, my wallet's, it's as if it's attached to my nervous system, and I'm in pain. That's what it feels like. They're doing Knifehead too. Knifehead's kind of just becoming like a staple within the Pacific Rim merchandise line. It's so he's so recognizable, and so they're obviously gonna do a figure of that. I don't know if I'll get this one. Knifehead's not one of my favorites, to be honest, but Otachi, hell yes, because I missed out on the NECA one. This is one I really regretted not picking up, and the aftermarket for the NECA figure is insane. But this, depending what the price is, I might just go all in, because this is going to look solid based on what this other company has done. I'm betting this is going to be just a great figure. And I think some of these figures have like light up functions. I'm not sure. I don't know what they're going to do with this one, but I'm ready to see this. I'm ready to see this once it's out of the prototype stage. And depending what the price point is, I really do want an Otachi. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this line's very interesting, and I'm definitely going to be keeping a closer eye on it. And don't be surprised if you see some of them down the line in my videos. All right, everyone, that is it for today's ramble. It's today's catch-up, longer video, obviously. But sometimes you gotta sit down, get in front of the mic, put the headphones on, and just scream. Just start screaming into it, scream into the void, let your feelings out. Which is what I did here, minus the screaming part, because I don't want to yell at you guys more so than I already do. But I'm excited. It's a great time to be a collector. It's always a great time. What a time to go into debt over toys. Actually, don't do that. You know me. I've mentioned that before. Like, live between your means. You don't need everything. Be smart with your money. But it's still a fun time just to be a collector and see what's out there and potentially put some money down on some new figures. So can't wait for the future. And yeah, I have a video coming out tomorrow. Yes, it's going to be the Bandai versus Playmates Part 2. So stay tuned for that. And I'm going to try to upload it to my Instagram more often in terms of pictures, because I'm trying to do more toy photography because it's just fun. But yeah, so add me on Instagram. The link's down below. At least my username is. You can also reach out to me on there. Other than that, I hope you all take care, and I'll see you all next time.